Well, we finally heard from Turbo Steve. He's going to be able to show up today. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. We want to get the decals on his tank. And if all goes well, we can get my part, some work done on it. It's ready for maybe a final sand out and some colored paint. You never know. Every day is different. Every day is unique. I like it that way. I don't want to have a Groundhog Day life. So the trick is, flip the battery chargers every morning. Keep the bikes all ready to go just in case we do get a riding day. We may get one this week. They're projecting some days in the maybe the 50s, some in the 40s anyway. And of course, if we do get a ride, it's a free bonus. It's like free salami. But the big thing, within a couple days, I'll have those two parts ready to put on this, and I can get a final look at it. And the next step on this is going to be these lower fairings that are in raw plastic. They get them sanded down. Maybe while the paint is drying today, if the weather cooperates, I'll get those parts pulled off, get them prepped up for their paint work. And the goal is, of course, to make as many parts of this bike shiny, 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 high gloss Bentley black as possible. And we're well on our way to having that the final view in our mind of what we want this bike to look like. All our little templates look like they were, well, we even rode the bike with them on. And I have the official ones downstairs. In fact, the ones on the bottom of the fairing started blowing off already, but I do have another copy of them. So when it comes time to do that, we have a template for all that, and John is working on the logo. It just couldn't be more fun this time of year. And we may get a riding day. You never know. So all I need now is very simple. Brew up a pot of coffee, feed the birds. The fish are done for the year. They're hibernating. I think I'm going to be hibernating soon. And Turbo Steve, I hope the weather cooperates. That's the issue right now. Is it's been raining for a couple of days, and I hope it's not going to be a cloudy, rainy day. We'll see as the day plays out. So the weather report says we're going into the 40s. The coffee maker says it's time to get going. And this is the time of year our birds love the fact that we put suet out and we put fresh seeds. They love us. So the 4CR Bondo 2100, this is what we always use to do a little filling, for fill in the little imperfections in a part, and it seems to work pretty well. And to have that kind of finish in black, absolutely, there's one thing you can't have, is in primer, it can't have little sanding flaws. So we're going to take care of that right now. So what I did, I put a very thin skim coat of Bondo. Anything that looked like it might be a flaw, I'm going to let it sit up by the heating vent for 15-20 minutes while I have my coffee and read the paper, and then get back down here and we're ready to rock. So I'm going to use the 600 paper. Now keep in mind, these flaws are like the size of pinheads, but I want this to be in perfect prime before I put the black, perfect black before I put the clear, and perfect clear before I buff it. So, and I'm not looking to save time, I'm not looking to save effort, I'm not looking to do this in cheap way or the easy way. I want it to be perfect. And the step I found, this is one of the steps that contributes to that, is using the 600 paper. And I'll sand that out and reprime it as many times as necessary. And that's the only way I know to make it perfect before we paint it. And one thing I know, everybody, including myself, you're always prone to be looking for shortcuts and ways of economizing and whatever. But when it comes to the steps of building a foundation for a really high quality finish, there's no substitute for as many times as you need to do this. If you need to do it 4 or 5 times and block it down. If you ever look at any of the high-end custom car shows that are on TV, you can see they block sand, and it's just an endless thing. But once you have that great foundation and it's in primer sealer, it almost guarantees your final finish is going to be really, really special. Now I just wanted to show part of this, how much time would take. This is not real super labor intensive, but we want to get it down to where we have the only Bondo that's showing is, let's say we started out here, and all we have is a little pinhead of Bondo, and every part of the Bondo is, what is showing is feather edged in. That's super important. It's pretty fair for me to say I've done a lot of body work, a lot of work painting model airplanes, painting guitars, boats, outboard engine covers. I don't even know what else. We did a lot of antique furniture refinishing that needed to be super high quality when we bought the house. But here's the whole thing in a nutshell. There's really no substitute for this hand labor of block sanding things. There's just no substitute that I've ever found. Now, I used to, at one point in time, I used to use that, what they call the old-fashioned, old-school body shop people called red lead. And you'd trowel it on and sand it off, and then there was the green version of that and the yellow version and the high quality, better quality version. But I've found, and this is just me, and because I'm doing smaller parts, motorcycle parts are typically small, and they have to be perfect. It's not like a car where there's certain parts of a car, the blow-up parts of the doors and stuff, where it's not too visible to the naked eye. A motorcycle is almost all of the parts are visible. So this is the thing. I have found using the Bondo, that 4CR Bondo, as the best way to fill in these little tiny imperfections. And the nice thing it does, it feathers out beautifully. It's just so much nicer than what I'll call the AutoZone, the stuff you buy generically. And it is a few bucks more, but certainly worth the price. And here's another thing. Anytime you sand anything, it's the edges that are going to be, if you don't have a radius, whether it's a model plane, a car, or what, the edges, if you don't get a radius and you have a razor sharp edge, that's where the paint tends to crack and then peel up. And that's really a tip worth its weight in gold. Now I'm just trying to look at this underneath the fluorescent lights that I have, and this is a high intensity light that shows up any little mistake. What I wanted to show is how little Bondo is left, and it's all feathered in. Wherever these little imperfections were, it's feathered in to the point where you really can't even consider that that's part of it. But to get this finish, we need to go through several, and we could do this, by the way, if I have to do this 5 times, doesn't matter. We're not getting paid by the hour, and I do these things as if time didn't exist. What I want is not the time saving. I want this when I'm done. And I want that whole Kawasaki motorcycle, all the parts we paint, to be that ultra high gloss Bentley black. As I come out to check the weather for future painting today, does not look real promising, but it's supposed to clear up. I will plan accordingly. Now, after this part dried up, the primer dried up for 20 minutes, I noticed there was a spot I was not happy with. So this is the point I'm making, is you can look at this under a microscope. You can look at it under, usually fluorescent lights will show up the flaws a lot quicker than anything else. But now it's just a question of, we'll let that dry, resand it out. In fact, then we'll resand the whole part out, because each time we do it, it's just going to get nicer and nicer. And it'll all work to our advantage in the end. And it looks like we're losing a day out there. So here's the point that I'm trying to make, and I don't know if I'm doing it as well as I should. This was the only little area that I thought needed a little more attention. And it won't matter. It's only going to take a few more minutes more. Every time we sand this primer down, this whole base is just going to get nicer and nicer and nicer. So there's no point in not doing it. And even the decals, even the little details that you think nobody's going to see that, nobody's going to see that. Well, you know, it's an uncanny thing. People see it. Maybe they don't tell you they see it, but they see it. And from building concourse model airplanes, where there was a competition for the finish, basically a finishing contest, and I have to admit, I spent a lot of time fixing floors. There's no way. Now some parts, when we pull those lower fairings off, because they're just raw plastic, there shouldn't be any Bondo on them. There shouldn't be any repair. We'll just have an intense sanding to get a nice flat surface. Not that surface that comes out of the mold. It's like 40 grit sandpaper. But the thing is, every time you do this and reprime it, yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes effort. It takes passion. Passion. Okay, that's ready for another coat outside, and I just hope it's not going to start raining or something, but it's really got cloudy in the last half an hour. Oh, I gotta get the camera here. He's invading. I didn't know you were coming up this early. Wow. So Steve got here right exactly the right time, but the weather is looking tentative. We're gonna really try to get this done.
This is thicker than I thought.
These came from a company called what? Red Bubble?
Red Bubble.
Okay.
Yeah, and the trick is they can give you these with white on the back.
Okay.
So it doesn't...
Oh, so that's what you're looking to do? Oh, so let's see how it looks.
Yeah, it's not going to work because it's still...
You're not going to know till you press it down. So you got to find a test. Well, you can always peel it off. Press it down, you can peel it off. Just heat gun it right off. If you don't think it's going to...
I don't know. What do you think? I guess it'll work.
Do you want to burnish that with something other than your hand?
Yes.
Minimize the
grease. The
grease. And I know you have that constant issue with fish eyes. He's a fishy guy. So am I. So Steve's going to go out and buy, now that Kawasaki owns Bimota, he's going to buy a supercharged...
For $40,000.
Oh, well, it's a good thing you got that print and press. They make decals. Let them make some money. How'd it come out? Yeah. The trick is you can't leave any air bubbles in there at all. 0, 0, 0.
I need a piece of paper. Can I use this?
Sure.
You need this.
Sure. No, it's I got that. It's just a work list. Yeah. It's a good day. If I get out this afternoon, it's supposed to be nice. But let's see what we're going to do here. Yeah, I would just keep burnishing it as much as you can. Now the trick is going to be when we put clear on top of that, is the clear going to give you an issue?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out.
It didn't last time.
No. We'll do a test. And since you already have the tank sanded down, that if you in other words, you're going over a flatter surface now than if it was all like a sandpapery thing. So burnishing it, yeah, you got that. That's pretty good. And you got the Kawasaki ones are the same material? Same
they're
product?
They're a little different.
Oh, good. Oh, good. A whole new set of challenges. That's what the hell we need.
But they're not different than from the first tank we did.
Okay. Now, the last tank we had totally different decal material, and Steve, because Steve is getting old too, he forgot what we did too. It's always handy to have two old guys that neither one of them can remember. Just keep...
Oh, I can see that there's something on top of the decal, looks like.
Well, you got spares, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is last year's decals.
These are what I printed on my...
You printed these?
On my LaserJet.
Okay.
Kawasaki.
From a LaserJet. And these are the ones, they were foggy, if I remember right, when we first put them on. And did we do it over, or I don't remember?
Those were the decals.
Okay, these are not decals.
These are stickers.
Okay, so... And these, you can't use these because this isn't on a white background.
It's not opaque behind there. Yeah, you can use it on a white motorcycle.
Okay. I don't remember what the reason was, to be honest.
If you're painting a police bike.
Yeah. So a Pope Mobile or something that's white. This is drying up by the heating vent here. And it's dry. We're ready to spray some Bentley Black, but and Steve's going to work on getting that Kawasaki. And you don't need me to put that decal on. It's coming out okay?
So far, so good.
So far. Yeah, I know. That's what the Titanic captain said about mid-ocean. What we're trying to do is beat the raindrops here. The weather is so variable. So while Steve is working on those decals, I'm going to try to get a coat of black on this. Get this up by a heating vent to dry. Got it on there okay?
Yeah. Not totally happy, but I gotta get this thing done. Where's the decals? Let's see this.
Now, I wonder if there's anything you can do to these decals to try to avoid fish eyes. I wonder if, I don't know, if there's anything you could do, wipe them with, what are you using? You got extra decals there, right?
Well, I'm running out of the Kawasaki's. But
Well,
I'm hoping if we bury that in clear.
I'm trying to think of a way we can, you know, that we can stack the deck in our favor. That's why I like the water slide decals. That you have more choices.
Yeah, it didn't work with this for some reason.
Well, who knows? It's all mystery meat. Okay, this is the clear that we're going to use on Steve's project, and as long as we have it in the gun, I'll get a coat or two on that side cover just to build up some coats of clear for sand out. And what I found on the first part, it worked just about the same, very similar to the 5-star. All right, Steve's got clean hands. He's tack ragging it all down. Try to get it as good as you can, and then don't touch anything that we're going to paint. This is, we got one coat on dry, just around all of the decals and the striping. Now I want to get on a wet coat. So now the trick on this is going to be that to bury these decals in clear. These are thick, they're not like the water slide decals. This one, good enough with my ugly face on, it came out okay. This one has the little spots like as if you needed to burnish it out more, but I'm not sure.
The hell out of that.
I know you did, I know. I'm wondering if another thing you could have done to this is, as you were burnishing it, heat it, and you know what I'm saying? The heat would have helped. You know, the only way you're going to know is to do one, because every one of these decals that you do is different than the one before. So you're going to be the decal maven here, and you're convincing me to not use decals. Don't do everything with paint from now on.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
but that tank looks fine.
There's an idea.
Now, here's a well, there's nothing. It's got to dry a day or two. I'll get it in the heat tonight once it dries in the garage, and then what I'll do is I'll wait for another day like today and just get another nice wet coat of clear on it, so we got plenty of clear to sand, and then you can pick a day you want to come over and sand. It'll be on you. Just trying to take advantage of the weather and the fact we still have a little bit of clear left in the gun, get a couple coats on this and get everything aside to dry. So this day ended on quite a nice positive note. We got some clear on the black, and we got enough clear on this that we can sand this out in the next day or two. 2 days is always better, 3 days even better. Then if Steve wants to come sand it just for just a hangout day, fine. If not, I'll do it, and it will get a final coat of clear after a 2000 grit sand out. The good news is our black part, we're going to get ready to put back on this in the next couple days. And what I'll do, if I get done, see, I have to go get my grandson now, and if that doesn't take up the whole day, the rest of the day, and sometimes I get an extra hour at the end of the day, I want to pull those fairing parts. If not, I'll just do it in the next work session. I don't like to rush. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.